I absolutely love the topic of energy feeding because I know that when you are filled with your own light and your own energy, that you feel clear, calm, connected. The struggles or the suffering is minimal to none, even with life's challenges. So, today we're going to talk about energy feeding, and you can call this energy mastery, energetic sovereignty. I'm going to call it being embodied, clear, and integrated as you. So, why isn't everyone just walking around fully clear, embodied, and integrated? Well, if you're here watching my channel, you already know, you're awake, that basically the source of all suffering here in these physical bodies starts up here with the judgments and the beliefs and the unconsciousness being disconnected from who we are. If you are in your perfect natural state, or you as source judges no thing, no one, has no anchored in beliefs, this equals this or that equals that, even here, what goes up must come down, gravity, that is all human created. So, what's keeping you from feeling like yourself, me, everyone on the planet, is judgment. And to make it more practical for you, it is any time you are expecting somebody else to be different from how they are, or you are expecting yourself to be different from how you are. It's any time that we are judging ourselves or others. And within people, this often shows up in relationships. And for the spiritual crowd, a lot of us needed to, or need to, depending where you're at, get away from the world, clear out, release all the emotions that were held up in our bodies, minds, and auras, and then feel our own presence. So, staying in presence, of course, staying in the heart. Let's do it. Let's take a breath. Instead of thinkingness, let's exhale through your mouth and feel yourself merging down more fully through your body, through your heart, through your core, all the way down through your legs and feet. Are you feeling what it's like to be alive? Or are you more in a state of thinking and narratives and concepts throughout your day? So, getting in your body, of course, is step one. Your energy can't come home to you if you're not home to receive it. Once you clear out and you recollect your energy, staying clear is so important because I'll tell you what, you can feel clear, free, just divine perfection, and yet the energies floating around in the mass consciousness, that of your friends, your family, your coworkers, whatever, they're out there. And you always have the option to latch back into them, to log back in, click, and let that siphoning and that energy feeding start to happen again. No one, no thing can feed on your light unless you choose and accept that. So, in every case, I will say essentially you could boil down all illness, all mental, physical, and emotional upset to not being clean, clear, and free in your own energy, being that radiant sun that you are. So, this is a pretty darn big and important topic, wouldn't you say? And I love it because that's, I'll say, the foundation for my life is staying clear and clean. And if I'm not feeling that way, I can tell you right now, I'm going to stop, drop, and roll. I'm going to, just like I'm on fire, I'm going to step back and say, what am I judging? So, to ask yourself some questions that can get you right to the bottom of any place that your energy is leaking, being siphoned off, being pulled on, tugged on. And yes, once you plug into other energies, they're going to pull on you, tug on you, drain you. And we've all been there. Codependent relationships is a great example. So you ask yourself, is there anywhere in my life that I am expecting other people or the world to be different than it is? Is there anywhere that I am not just saying, That's where someone's at, and it's okay. So your source self is, we'll call it Christ consciousness, unconditional love, absolute and total acceptance, pure consciousness. If you're looking at any of your friends, family, or people in the world saying, I want you to be different, boom, you are plugged in, and now there is an energy cord and you're leaking energy. So, yeah, you can look at people and say, well, that's not very smart, or that's not very helpful, or that's not very kind, or I can see where this train wreck is headed and I don't want you to mess up your life. But it's so important to remember who everyone is. Namaste. The light in me honors that same source at the core of you. And everyone has access to who they are. And yet, everyone is meant to be where they are today. And of course, we're all waking up. But it's so important to have that deep, compassionate understanding. And I will call it a divine acceptance, a divine compassion, a divine neutrality that, wow, I don't like watching other people suffer. It's definitely not fun, but I release the idea, the concept that I somehow am responsible for others, responsible for the world. If you put the weight of the world on your shoulders, your body will absolutely feel it. So, this is where so many folks lose energy. And it happens a lot in personal relationships. It could be if you're a parent with children, for example, you want them to be safe. It could be your friends, your family, anyone that. Now, if you're awake, is it possible that a little part of you feels a little bit arrogant? Like you're better than other people, you're smarter because you can see things, right? You see things other people don't see. Well, what if the reason you're seeing that is for you, first and foremost, for you to wake up and transcend the judgment of seeing so much and wanting to control so much. And as you transcend the judgment and you become more source like, more, you know what, it is what it is. I don't have to love everything. Well, you can love life, but I don't have to love everything that's going on, but accepting what is we'll call it basic. Every master has taught this. This is we'll call it Zen, call it the Tao, doesn't matter. Accepting what is a baseline for any type of living from the heart, from living as who you truly are. So can you just accept everything and everyone and recollect your energy? If you want to, if you're saying yes, and maybe you're coming to mind like a few things where you've been, maybe even sometimes it's subtle, it's so little back here, it slips in. Let's release it right now. Take a breath with me. I'm not commander of the universe. I release this responsibility that was never mine, and release it. If it's people in your life, bring them right in front of you and say, I love you. I'm sorry I was judging you. I release this and send them love and hand them over to their creator self, to the whole universe, to God, to source, whatever, and say, turns out I'm not in charge of anyone but myself. Now, that doesn't mean if people come and ask you for help, you won't help them, of course. I promise you, if you've been trying to control other people or change other people, or if you've been judging other people, they've probably been avoiding you like the plague. When you fully love and accept everyone as they are, or at least accept them, then people are going to be coming to you and feel drawn to you because they can feel that love. Now, I have to look at the other side of this coin. So, another way that you leak energy all over the place and you don't feel healthy, whole, complete, and perfect within yourself is when you are trying to change, number one, to fit other people's expectations. So it's just sort of like a flip flop. So, is there any place that you are trying to perform, to act a certain way, dress a certain way, be a certain way? Do you feel like, if you leave conversations and the mind goes, oh, did I say that right? Did I offend somebody? That's not you. That's the ego. When you see these things that I'm talking about, these examples, I want you to take a breath and go, that's not me. That's the biggest key. First is becoming aware of it, right? And then, that's not me. That's the mind. That's the conditioning talking, thinking. That's all that is. The ego, teeny, teeny, tiny little minuscule speck that it is compared to you as source. And there's no need to battle these things. You can just say, I don't need to do that anymore. The really, really tricky part for folks. Now, the tricky part is dropping it, okay? And why do I say it's tricky? It's not actually tricky. It's the easiest thing, but somehow we've been hypnotized to believe that it's so tricky. Whether you're wanting to control people for the ego's safety, comfort, to fit into all those boxes, or you're trying to control yourself, how you act, how you feel. You're saying yes when you mean no because you don't want to offend anybody. You're not being true to yourself. You can't be genuine, open, honest because of all this judgment and beliefs. This is where we take a breath. We see it. Okay, I see it now. Now, what do you do about it? Let's take a breath again. Inhale through the nose. Go from that thinking mind all the way down into your body. Feel into your heart center. Maybe put your hand here and connect and feel your presence. Feel your connection to all that is. This is really the only thing that's real. Only you, not the stories of you, but your presence is real. And then let those little stories, concepts, thoughts come up. Take a breath and remain right here. Stay here. You don't have to feed them because here is the biggest mind blower of all. The one and only true energy feeder is your own ego. It's your own constructs that are invested in keeping you acting a certain way, looking a certain way, being a certain way, engaging with others in a certain way. It's all in here. It's all within your own mind. This is where the mastery comes in. Can you take a breath when these awarenesses come up and just say no? And by saying no, meaning you let those thoughts just drop away. And they're going to pull. They're going to, you can feel it. You can feel it in your body, the magnetic pull. Like, I'm plugged into you, you've been feeding me, and I'm hungry now. You know, those entities, those thought forms, those narratives, they are, you know, they're real. You can't see, I can type up a message on my cell phone, send a text, can't see that, but it's proven. You can feel these thoughts and you can feel the magnetic pull that they're having on you. Your own thoughts are the energy feeders. So when these thoughts come up that have judgments, where you're trying to act, perform, convince, be seen in a certain way, be understood, whatever you're trying to project onto the world, the identities you're trying to be, when those thoughts come up, can you just take a breath and say no? Just say no. It's like the world's most addictive drug, really. The Just Say No campaign should be for your own thoughts where you are trying to change yourself, manage yourself, manipulate yourself. Any judgments about yourself and about the world. It goes both ways. So you might be out and about, for example, and these thoughts come with an emotion and they hook you in. And let's say it's just some kind of negative thought. I can't believe people act this way or people drive this way or whatever. Can you have the mastery? And I know you can. So just ask yourself right now and make a commitment to do it. Just do it. Say, I have the energetic mastery to take a breath and say no. And if you've been thinking the same thoughts, which you probably have for years or days or whatever, uh, they're going to come back. They're going to come back again. It's going to come back again. Knock, knock, knock. Can you take a breath and say no? And laugh and watch it dissolve and pat yourself on the back and stop giving your energy away. So, energy sovereignty, energy mastery, energy feeding, it is all within your own mind and your own thoughts that you give power to. So, really, let's take a breath right now together and proclaim who you are. I'm creator. I create my own reality. I'm the only one in charge of the thoughts that I feed, that I empower, and the stories that I empower. And I love having a healthy body, a clear mind. I love feeling lighter and brighter as the days and years and weeks go on. So, of course, I'm not going to feed that old energy. Of course, when those thoughts of judgment come up, judging myself, judging others, putting myself in boxes, putting others in boxes, even creating beliefs, this equals this or that equals that, when none of that's actually ultimately true. Everything's true and nothing is true. Depends where you want to place your consciousness. So I'm going to erase all of that and remain in presence, in observation, in, oh, well, I see that as a potential there. That could be happening there. All is well. Of course, I'm going to choose that because having all my own energy, not having it plugged into other people, having it for myself, not having it plugged into the mass consciousness, the world, that's going to allow my body to vibrate faster and faster and faster, my consciousness to continue to open up, to elevate, for me to continue to experience more of who I truly am. The love, the joy, the openness, the creativity, the expressiveness, the fun. Oh my God. And what if I actually start enjoying life instead of judging it and judging myself and trying to control everything? How awesome is that? So, no more energy feeding. Just drop it like a bad habit. You take a breath. No. Nope. Nope. You see it coming? Oh, you might plug into it from. Oh, no, 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 no. That's right. I'm not doing that. Stay here in your heart and feel clearer and lighter. Thank you for joining me today. If you enjoy these videos, check out my links below. And I have a lot of free classes and courses I do offer on my website. I work with people one-on-one. I do live group events. So feel free to check out more at kathybauman.com. Namaste.